have a chance. Richarlison cuts it back. Oh, what a goal! First up! It's just the 5th minute.
Still Lewandowski. Still Doski. Finds Dembele, and Dembele scores an equalizer. What a pass from Lewandowski. He has been the best player. He has actually got 2 assists. One of Gavi's goal and now Dembele's goal.
And City wins! City won the match. Manchester City won the match.
The match of the day starts with a cracker as both these sides go head to head. It's Borussia Dortmund take on Barcelona live at Signal Iduna Park. Who's going to win this match? Find that out. Next, we have Inter Milan and Bayern Munich facing up against each other. Both these sides have been going head to head since the 2010 Grand Final. We're going to see who's going to win the match, as we're going to find out who will claim the supremacy here. Next game is the game of the season, and that is of course Manchester United taking on Real Madrid in what will be a fascinating fixture. It's going to be a game of the season with both these sides had history with each other. Of course, United had Beckham and Real Madrid had R9. But who's going to win this fascinating game of the season here? Tune in to find out. Good day everybody, it's Brisbane05Blaster here and welcome to our first episode of Brisbane05Blaster Champions League, where champions rise. I really cannot wait for the opener match. Of course, it's Borussia Dortmund taking on Barcelona, and it's going to be a cracker. And I have a feeling that this game is going to be pretty close because Dortmund, they're on a redemption era. I mean, they've basically been the bridesmaid to Bayern Munich for for a decade. Whereas Barcelona have been basically dominating La Liga, but they never won anything specifically in Europe. So this could be something that they could do. Probably win this special competition, which is of course the Brisbane05Blaster Champions League. So then they can prove that they are the big dogs of Europe. But anyway guys, let's just head to our first match between Borussia Dortmund and Barcelona. Alright guys, we're here at the Signal Iduna Park to see Borussia Dortmund take on Barcelona. So Borussia Dortmund on the first hand side, they've actually been the runner-up, basically the bridesmaid whenever they go up against Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. Whereas Barcelona, they've never had that type of success since the MSN era. But can this season be their season to fight for silverware? That is the most prestigious silverware in all. The Brisbane05Blaster Champions League silverware. We're just going to wait and find out. Both these sides, they are going head to head. They have versed in a Champions League last season where of course Barcelona did beat Borussia Dortmund at Signal Iduna Park. Then they also versed in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So yeah, this is going to be a fascinating one. Alright guys, we're going to take a look at Borussia Dortmund's starting lineup here. As you can see, of course, BVB are going with the 3-4-2-1 formation with Gregor Kobel in goal, with Niklas Sula, Waldemar, Anton, Bensebaini, Ryerson, Enmeka, Gross, Svensson, Adeyemi, Brandt, and Sergio Girassi. And then of course, the bench. And then we move on to Barcelona's starting lineup, and they're going with a 4-2-3-1 formation with of course Juan Garcia being in goal, with of course Koundé, Kubasi, Martinez, Balde, Pedri actually, Frankie de Jong, Lamine Yamal, Olmo, Rafinha, and Lewandowski at the starter. And of course Hansi Flick's the manager here. We're going to see who's going to win this match, and it's live. So Borussia Dortmund is actually going to be the one to start the match with, of course, with a punt. A surprise punt, by the way. It's kind of strange here. But anyway, it looks like Barcelona have the possession. So they have pretty good talented players. Of course, with Lamine Yamal and Rafinha in the starter. But Rafinha already has gone into the wing side. He actually crosses it. But luckily it didn't hit the Dortmund's hand. But somehow he regains the ball. It's Rafinha. Rafinha finds Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo shoots, but that was so close. Barcelona almost scored the opening goal of the game, but it just sailed wide of the post. And it's the Swiss keeper Gregor Kobel to take the goal kick. He has been probably the main man here for Borussia Dortmund in terms of being the sticks ever since, mostly since Jan Sommer departed for Switzerland. He's been the Swiss main man, and that's the reason why he's the main man for the Dortmund keeper. But looks like Barcelona have this one under pressure. They've thrived under pressure here. Can they actually capitalize? Here's Enmeka, finds Pascal Gross. Still Gross. Still Pascal Gross, but what a tackle. Juan Garcia has it. He actually boots this out. Only for Borussia Dortmund to take this one. Lewandowski's against his former club. So he does have history in scoring against his former club. And that was almost a goal. Who was that? It was probably the number 9, Sergio Guirassy. But for some reason, it's actually a corner kick here because it might have hit Juan Garcia's finger hands, I would say. Fingertips of the gloves. So, yeah. But anyway, it looks like the home crowd, the home team has the corner kick. They go for it. But it was a tame effort here as Juan Garcia takes this one. With just the fingertip, Garcia made a save. And somehow, Koundé lost the possession of the ball. And Adeyemi has it. He finds the player and Mecca has it. But what a tame effort here from him. And an easy save from Juan Garcia. Here's Rafinha. Still Rafinha. Still Rafinha. Rafinha finds Alejandro Balde. Still Balde. Balde finds Rafinha. Rafinha, that could have been a chance for Barcelona there, but Dortmund with a terrific interception here. And as you can see, Sergio Guirassy is the player to watch, as he should be. He had the opportunity to give Dortmund the lead, I think, at the startup. But I think a fingertip of Juan Garcia made a save. And it's going to be a corner kick here for Barcelona. Pretty much something that Barcelona kind of need, are set pieces. Probably need to take some free advice here from from Arsenal, of course. Since Arsenal are good at set pieces. But, of course, they're not in this competition since they didn't finish top 4 in that competition. Barcelona have the corner. He kind of tried to get into the head of side, but a clearance from Dortmund. But still, the pressure is still on. Barcelona still has it. It's Pedri. Pedri to Inigo Martinez. Rafinha. Rafinha to Lewandowski. But Lewandowski's back pass was a tame one as Dortmund gets this one so easily. But somehow, a good interception, and that to a good slide tackle interception from Frenkie de Jong, gives the possession to Barcelona. But of course, a pass was too much from the midfielder as Dortmund gets this one away. But it's still with Barcelona. It's Dani Olmo. He finds Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal to Lewandowski, but Lewandowski gets tackled. Dani Olmo did play in the Bundesliga, so he does kind of have experience playing in one of those teams. Here's Sergio Guirassy. He finds Svensson. Svensson to Adeyemi. Adeyemi to Pascal Gross. Gross shoots. And what a save. A terrific one from Juan Garcia. Looks like Dortmund has a corner. And they desperately need it because this could give them some momentum here. Looks like Svensson is the one to take it. He actually crosses it. But Barcelona managed to get this one away. It's still with Dortmund, by the way. It's Svensson. But what a tackle here from one of the Barcelona defenders as they get the ball away. It's Rafinha. Rafinha to Lewandowski. Lewandowski finds Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo to Rafinha, who's actually the captain here. Still Rafinha. Rafinha finds Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal shoots, but what a save from Gregor Kobel. That was an opportunity here for the Barca winger to get on the score sheet. But what a save from Gregor Kobel. It's a corner kick here from the Catalans. What can they do here? It's Pedri, the player to take it. He crosses it. It was a tame one, but it's a goal kick. However, I can see the linesman. He actually referred for a corner kick, so he might have hit the Dortmund players. So Barcelona have a second chance to maybe get into the box. The yellow wall are trying their best to nullify Barcelona players here. And they actually managed to do that because Barcelona messed up with the corner kick, as Kobel just easily had to catch this one. Here's Svensson. Svensson to Karim Adeyemi. Still Adeyemi, who's literally blistering in the wing side. Still Adeyemi shoots. And he scores the opening goal for Borussia Dortmund. And the yellow wall celebrates because that has been probably Borussia Dortmund's best attack for this fixture and this game. What a run from Karim Adeyemi. Manages to dribble past the defenders there. Swifts it past Juan Garcia. As Borussia Dortmund take the lead, with Karim Adeyemi scoring the opening goal of this game. What a goal from the German winger here, as he might have given Borussia Dortmund some hope, and as the yellow fans erupt with joy. Looks like Barcelona will be the one to take the kickoff, and they have to do it quickly because they're now the ones trailing. Here's Pedri. Pedri to De Jong. Frankie De Jong. Still De Jong. De Jong finds Koundé. Koundé to Kubasi. Kubasi to De Jong. De Jong to Martinez. Martinez to Pedri. Pedri to De Jong. De Jong to Lewandowski. Still Lewandowski. Still Lewandowski. Lewandowski to Koundé. Barcelona trying to do a bit of tiki-taka here. But is that going to put up to work? Somehow Lewandowski manages to get past the Dortmund defender. However, it's a penalty here for Barcelona due to a handball by who else? Anton. That's an unfortunate handball here from Anton, as Barcelona get a much needed penalty, and who else but the captain to take it. Barcelona fans are hoping that this could go in, as this could be an equalizing goal in the making. Or will somehow Kobel save this one? No, he won't, as Rafinha scores the equalizing goal, as Barcelona managed to get the equalizer in just 5 minutes. Gotta take a look at the replay. Rafinha manages to send the keeper the wrong way with a Panenka, by the way. Kobel went the wrong way, and what a cool, calm Panenka here from the captain. Hansi Flick is ecstatic because that might have given Barcelona some rejuvenated hope, thanks to who else? Their captain, their leader, Rafinha. Looks like Borussia Dortmund are going to be kicking off here. They need to find their way in the opposition zone, but somehow Barcelona get this one away. Here's Ryerson. Ryerson finds Pascal Gross, finds Julian Brandt. What a tackle here from, I'm pretty sure that's Inigo Martinez. But it's going to be a throw-in here for Borussia Dortmund, and a much needed one because this could be the last attack of the game. But can Ryerson do something here? He does find Felix and Mecca to Gross. Still Gross. Gross to Girassi. Girassi somehow manages to fluff his lines as Barcelona get this one away. But it looks like it's half-time as Borussia Dortmund and Barcelona both still tied with 1-1 as a scoreline. Nothing to be separated, with of course Rafinha being the player to watch as he scored the most important equalizing goal here. Might have given Barcelona some hope. It's half-time. Dortmund 1. Barcelona 1. Alright guys, looks like the second half has already commenced, with of course Barcelona being the one to kick off. But of course they're doing the same thing what Dortmund did in the first half, and that is punting in. I know this is like a glitch in the matrix, but trust me, it's a tactic. Looks like Borussia Dortmund is going to be the one to take it, and looks like Julian Brandt is already in the back line. But he somehow gets the ball, he finds Nmeka. Felix Nmeka has it, but he's under pressure. And it did actually got the better of him as Barcelona managed to get the ball away. They actually steal the ball from Nmeka as now Barcelona have the advantage. Here's Dani Olmo, he finds Lewandowski. Lewandowski shoots and he scores. However, he's offside. That is a frustration here from the Catalan striker. An unfortunate one. That to Dani Olmo making a well-timed pass only for Lewandowski to screw it up as he was just in an offside position. because that could have been a goal Barcelona needed. Borussia Dortmund got lucky there because Lewandowski was offside. But somehow Barcelona get the ball. It's Frankie de Jong, but what a tackle here from Dortmund. Here's Karim Adeyemi, who has been on fire with, of course, terrorizing the defenders here, especially mostly the fullbacks. Here's Svensson. Svensson shoots, but it hits the crossbar. Barcelona got lucky after that offside goal. Of course, after that goal being ruled out due to offside. But somehow, Dortmund does manage to get in the second time of asking, thanks to their striker, Serhou Guirassy. What a finish here from Serhou Guirassy there. Made the Yellow Wall fans jubilant. What a pass and what a finish from the Mali striker. Of course, a chaos defending here from Barcelona gives Dortmund a lead after that crossbar from Svensson, a crossbar attempt from Svensson. But the second time of asking, Guirassy did repay him. As Borussia Dortmund re-established their lead, Barcelona will have to go at it again. Here's Frankie de Jong. He finds Lewandowski, but the pass was probably bad. Here's Nmeka. Felix Nmeka. Still Nmeka. Nmeka finds Gross. Gross with a well-timed cross. And what an effort here from Alejandro Balde to clear this one. But it's still Dortmund. And somehow, Rafinha gets the ball. It finds Pedri. Pedri to Balde. Balde to Pedri. Pedri to Lewandowski. Lewandowski to Olmo. Olmo to Rafinha. Back to Olmo. Still Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo finds Rafinha. Rafinha to Frankie de Jong. And Frankie de Jong didn't make any mistakes as he scores the equalizing goal for Barcelona. What a well-needed equalizing goal. They always strike back after conceding the goal. Especially since that goal from Serhou Guirassy. It might have given him some motivation since that goal was being ruled off offside. Of course, by Lewandowski. But it didn't matter as Frankie de Jong did manage to score the equalizing goal for Barcelona. As he was too good for Gregor Kobel. Kobel didn't even make a single effort to save that one. Hansi Flick is happy as he does know Borussia Dortmund pretty well since he was the coach of Bayern Munich. What a game this is. 2-2 the scoreline. Both these sides still yet to even separate themselves from a masterclass finish. Even though Borussia Dortmund have been the ones better on Barcelona. But still no. It looks like Barcelona's next match is going to be a tough one. It's against Manchester United, who have been basically trying to rebuild their career and their squad basically. And Borussia Dortmund, they almost had the chance to get themselves in front. But of course, it was being wasted. Juan Garcia makes a save. It looks like Guirassy comes off for Bayern. He's done so well, gave Borussia Dortmund the lead for the second time. But he now has to be departed because due to, stamina issues. But anyway, looks like corner kick here for Borussia Dortmund. But Barcelona gets this one under pressure. They thrive under pressure despite being down twice. Now here's Rafinha. Rafinha finds Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo to Lewandowski. Lewandowski to Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal to Pedri. Pedri to Lewandowski. Lewandowski to Olmo. Olmo to Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal shoots, but what a save from Kobel. And looks like it's going to be a substitution here for Borussia Dortmund as Felix Nmeka comes off for Jude Bellingham. As he's probably Jude Bellingham's younger brother, can he do what Jude Bellingham did, his older brother did? We're going to find out. Looks like Barcelona has won the corner. It's Rafinha with the ball. Still Rafinha. Rafinha finds De Jong. De Jong shoots, but what a save. From who else but Gregor Kobel. And another substitution will be coming in for Borussia Dortmund. And this time it's Gross coming off for Marcel Sabitzer. The Austrian centre midfielder who played for both Bayern and of course RB Leipzig. But anyway, now he's of course donning the Dortmund colours. But of course corner kick here for Barcelona. Rafinha had it, but this time it's a goal kick. But look at these sides. Both these sides are still yet to differentiate these in terms of the score sheet and the scoreline mostly. They're yet to separate themselves. And now Kobel will be the one to take it. Can Borussia Dortmund go for a counter-attack? Is that what Kobel's thinking? We just don't know. Kobel finds Anton. Anton to Sula. Nicolas Sula to Joe Bellingham. Now here's Ryerson. Dortmund are on the attack here. Here's Svensson with it. Svensson finds Adeyemi, who's been literally Barcelona's nightmare so far. But somehow they managed to tackle him. Now Barcelona are on the counter-attack. It's Lamine Yamal. Barcelona had made more passes than Dortmund because of the tiki-taka style. And this is a wonderful finish from Dani Olmo. What a pass from Lamine Yamal and what a finish from Dani Olmo. He has given Barcelona the lead for the first time. Got to take a look at the replay there. Lamine Yamal manages to torture the Dortmund defenders, saucing the defenders right there. He manages to find Dani Olmo, who manages to score with ease. Nothing to be worried about there. But what a finish here from Dani Olmo. Might have given Barcelona the lead. They needed it. After being down twice. But can Dortmund find themselves back after leading twice, but now trailing for the first time? But looks like Barcelona are on the attack. It's Lewandowski. Lewandowski to De Jong. De Jong finds Dani Olmo, or is it Rafinha? Sorry, it's Rafinha. Or I don't know. Whoever has done the shot might have almost scored the dagger. And it's a corner kick here for Pedri. And Barcelona, of course. Pedri crosses it. A wonderful header here, but an easy save from Gregor Kobel. Nice. Barcelona, Dortmund's didn't take the effort from the keepers booting away. And of course, mostly the Barcelona bodies have been all over Dortmund. So even though Adeyemi and Sergio Guirassy have basically been creating so many chances, it's mostly been the Barcelona bodies that have been restricting them to not score goals. However, I might be jinxing it as Dortmund somehow score the equalizing goal. And who else but Jude Bellingham's younger brother, Joe Bellingham. Oh my goodness, Dortmund have managed to score. Even though they've been leading twice and lost the lead twice, they still managed to score the equalizing goal. What a pass. And what a finish from Jude Bellingham's younger brother, Joe Bellingham. He might have given Borussia Dortmund some hope. And now, both these sides still yet to break the deadlock after 87 minutes. It's Rafinha with it. Rafinha to Pedri. Pedri to Olmo. Olmo to De Jong. Still Olmo. Olmo to Pedri. Pedri to Olmo. Bit of tiki-taka play from Barcelona. Here's Lewandowski. But just messed it up. But Lewandowski gets the ball back. We're down to the 90th minute here. Can this be the one that Barcelona needed? But the cross was kind of wasted. It is, however, 6 minutes of added time. It's Adeyemi. Adeyemi to Sabitzer. Sabitzer to Bayer. Still Bayer, but what a tackle here. Can there be one last attack? Or is it going to be ending in a 3-3 draw? In what was a game of the season here? I do not think there will be a last attack of the game. Barcelona have conceded the possession. However, Dortmund are thinking of finding a winner here. Here's Julian Brandt. Still Brandt. Still Julian Brandt. He crosses it. But Barcelona's Dani Olmo gets this one away. And the match finishes with both these sides still yet to break the deadlock. They can't find the winner. But it was a perfect game. A game of the season to remember. Of course, Dortmund scoring twice. Barcelona equalizing twice. Then they scored the goal to put themselves in front. But then, of course, Joe Bellingham scored the equalizing goal. Sergio Guirassy is the man of the match, of course. Well, we don't know who's actually the man of the match. But yeah, Sergio Guirassy, of course, he's been the player to watch. He scored that one goal. Yellow Wall will be happy about this, even though they've been losing the lead twice. But anyway, it's full time. Dortmund 3, Barcelona 3. What a game that was. It was actually a 6-goal thriller. Well, technically, it was basically not what I expected it to be. So Borussia Dortmund actually scored the opening goal of the match, since you already saw, thanks to a goal from Karim Adeyemi. However, Borussia Dortmund gave a penalty which gave Barcelona's captain Rafinha to actually tuck this one in, and he made no mistakes as he scored the equalizing goal for the match. But Borussia Dortmund did not hold themselves back, because they still kept on leading for the second time thanks to a goal from the Mali striker Sergio Guirassy. But then, like I said, Barcelona managed to get themselves back into the game thanks to Frenkie de Jong, the Dutch midfielder. But then for the first time, Barcelona's CAM Dani Olmo, he actually gave Barcelona the lead for the first time. But then, of course, the rising sensation midfielder after Jude Bellingham, Joe Bellingham, scored the equalizing goal at the Signal Iduna Park, and that's how the match ended in a 3-3. But I had a feeling Barcelona should have actually won the game, because they were leading, even though they were actually second place in terms of possession and chances created. Well, we'll see. I mean, in terms of basically creating chances and possession wise, Barcelona should have actually won that game, because they were leading if it wasn't for Joe Bellingham's equalizing goal. Even though Dortmund did actually lead for the majority of the match, Barcelona should have won the game. And they proved it. They almost did. But Joe Bellingham scored a dagger, scored the equalizing goal for Dortmund. And that's how both these teams ended in a 3-3 draw, with only sharing the spoils. Of course, Borussia Dortmund and Barcelona sharing with a 1 point. Both of them dropping 2 points. So yeah. Anyway, guys, let's just move on to our next match, which is, of course, between Inter and Bayern Munich. Inter have been the best team in Italy after Juventus basically have been the Farmers League of Italy for probably a decade. But now Inter have been the top dogs of Italy. They're up against Bayern Munich, who have also been dominating Bundesliga. They've been dominating Bundesliga for over a decade, until Leverkusen ended their streak. But yeah, they've been basically the top dogs of Germany. They never actually gave titles away, apart from that Leverkusen fairy tale story. They still kept their perch, still managed to dominate the league. And yeah, I can't wait for these two teams to go up against each other. And just to let you know, these two teams are actually versing each other since, of course, the 2010 Champions League final and 2025's quarterfinals from last season, of course. The last season's UEFA Champions League quarterfinals. So it's going to be a very heated match. But anyway, guys, let's just see how things are going there. Alright, guys, we're here to see Inter and Bayern Munich. It's actually called Lombardia and Bayern Munich, but let's just get used to it by now, because it's, of course, Inter's fake name Lombardia FC, but you should know the difference. But anyway, it looks like Inter and Bayern Munich, they both are probably one of the best teams here so far. Inter Milan have probably won too many titles in Italy, and of course Bayern Munich have been stampeding the Bundesliga titles, so not surprised there. But anyway, guys, I really can't wait to see how things will be going here for this match, because I have a feeling that this game is probably going to be very good. And yeah, I mean, we already witnessed the first game of the season, which was Dortmund and Barcelona, and the game ended in a 3-3 draw. What can this second game of the season show us? So as you can see, of course, these players are shaking hands. And it's actually not going to be taking place at the San Siro, if you noticed that. But anyway, let's just get to Inter/Lombardia starting lineup. But of course, they're going with a 5-3-2 system with Jan Sommer in goal, Dumfries, Pavard, Acerbi, Bastoni, and DeMarco, Barella, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan, with Martinez and Thuram both starting as the two strikers. Of course, there are plenty of players on the bench. And then we go into Bayern starting 11 with, of course, they're going the 4-2-3-1 formation with Neuer in goal, Laimer, Upamecano, Tah, Guerrero, Goretzka, Kimmich, Olise, Werner, Diaz, and Kane. And here's players at the bench, with Vincent Kompany being the manager for Bayern Munich. Alright, looks like the play has already started with Inter/Lombardia FC, both starting the game. So as you can see, it's Mkhitaryan with it, the Armenian midfielder. He actually crosses it to Dumfries. Here's Martinez. Martinez tried to bamboozle Kimmich, but he actually went a bit passive there. Kimmich does manage to intercept the pass. Here's Harry Kane. Harry Kane finds Jonathan Tah. Jonathan Tah to Rafa Guerrero. Guerrero to Leon Goretzka. Goretzka to Vanna. Vanna to Olise. Kimmich. Bayern are already on the attack here. Can they think of something here? Here's Olise. Olise finds Vanna. But somehow what a save here from who else? Jan Sommer, who actually plays for Bayern Munich. Who used to play for Bayern Munich because of, Neuer's injury. But it is what it is. Looks like it's a throw-in here for Bayern Munich. With, of course, Leon Goretzka controlling the ball. Here's Vanna. Vanna to Joshua Kimmich. Kimmich to, of course, a bit of tiki-taka play from Bayern Munich. Harry Kane tried to shoot from distance. But Jan Sommer makes an easy save. Here's Alejandro Bastoni. Bastoni to Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan to Martinez. Martinez to DiMarco. DiMarco's as a left wing back, I would say. He finds Mkhitaryan. Çalhanoğlu. Çalhanoğlu to Lautaro Martinez, who's actually through. But it's a free kick here for Inter Milan or Lombardia FC, but you get the picture. Anyway, it looks like they have a free kick in a very dangerous position here, and probably the best free kick taker for Inter Milan is probably going to be Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Who else? He's the best free kick taker here for Inter. He goes for it. That was not a bad effort, but what a save from Neuer. And of course, Kompany's the manager here for Bayern Munich. He did play in the Premier League, but never actually played outside, apart from his hometown, Belgium. And, so else. But anyway, guys, here's DiMarco with the corner. He's actually calling for help. And it's actually Dumfries. Sorry, not Thuram. He actually crosses that. And what a finish from Lautaro Martinez. That is pure finish here from the Argentinian skipper. And of course the captain for Inter. But what a finish here from Lautaro Martinez. We got to take a look at this build-up play. It actually started with a wonderful cross from Dumfries, who actually found Thuram. And then of course landed in the feet of Lautaro Martinez. And he manages to control, bamboozle Luis Diaz there. And got past Neuer as Inter take the first blood on Bayern. With a wonderful finish from Lautaro Martinez. Alright, looks like Bayern are already on the attack here. They need to think of something here now. Guerrero finds Vanna. It's Vanna with it. Vanna finds Diaz. Luis Diaz. Still Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz to Guerrero. Guerrero crosses it. But of course, a bit of a defensive play here from Inter. That was a bad tackle on DiMarco, and it's going to be a booking here for Joshua Kimmich. Probably going to be a yellow card here. DiMarco is on the ground, but it is going to be a yellow card here for Joshua Kimmich. Just took him down. Can't believe it. But anyway, Inter has a free kick. With of course DiMarco being the man to actually try to go for it. Federico DiMarco. He actually crosses it. But somehow Bayern Munich get this one away. It's Vanna. Vanna to Olise. Olise to Lima. Konrad Lima to Vanna. Vanna to Joshua Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich to Vanna. Vanna to Kimmich. Kimmich crosses it to Kane. Still Harry Kane. But what a defensive work here from Inter. Are they actually going to be parking the bus? Because they are one of the best Italian teams in terms of defensive work rate. But can they do it? Looks like Bayern Munich have won the ball. It's Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich has it. Kimmich finds Leon Goretzka. Goretzka to Kimmich again. Kimmich to Olise. And of course, this is basically the rematch of the 2010 Champions League final. Of course, with Inter getting the job done, beating them probably 2-0. But we'll see how things go here. But anyway, Bayern had the attack, but Inter manages to defuse it. But I probably don't know the scoreline of the 2010 Champions League final. So if you know, just put in the comments. But anyway, Inter had the attack, but it was defused. But it's still with Inter. Now it's Çalhanoğlu. Çalhanoğlu finds Dumfries. Dumfries to Çalhanoğlu. Manages to dribble past the defense there. Here's Thuram. Thuram to Dumfries. Still Dumfries. Dumfries to Thuram. But somehow Bayern managed to get this one. But it's with DiMarco. DiMarco to a Mkhitaryan. Enrique Mkhitaryan finds DiMarco. But what a tackle here. From, I'm pretty sure that's Konrad Laimer. I don't know. But anyway, looks like it's Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz finds Harry Kane. Harry Kane to Rafa Guerreiro. Bayern have the best team here, but they're not basically using it. And is it a free kick? It is. It's actually a free kick here for Inter. It is. And Bastoni is going to collect the ball actually, so... Yep. Oh, it's Pavard, not Bastoni. He actually chips this one to Barella. Barella is under pressure, but he manages to hold the ball. It's Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan to Barella. Barella to Thuram. Thuram to Çalhanoğlu. Çalhanoğlu to Martinez, then to Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan tries to pass it to DiMarco, but what an interception there from Bayern. And that too, it was Laimer. It is. The left back, or is it the right back? Probably it's the right back, Konrad Laimer here. But anyway, Leon Goretzka. It's Wanner. 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes of normal time to go before halftime whistle blows. Can Inter score that second goal? It's Marcus Thuram with it. He finds Çalhanoğlu. What a defensive work here from Bayern Munich. Now, Kimmich. Kimmich finds Olise. Olise finds Diaz. Diaz. Luis Diaz to Guerreiro. Back to Diaz, but what a tackle from Pavard. And that's it for the first half, with of course Inter having a slight advantage on Bayern. But can Bayern try to score, come back here? We just don't know. And who else but Lautaro Martinez to be scoring the opening goal? He's been creating so many deadly chances for Inter, and that's the reason why they're leading. Half time, it's Inter 1, Bayern 0. Alright guys, looks like second half has already commenced with Bayern Munich doing the kickoff here. Can they find themselves back into the game? Or will Lombardia prove their mentality here? Or Inter basically prove their mentality? Here's Olise. Still Olise. Olise to Diaz. But somehow Dumfries gets a wonderful tackle or interception basically. But anyway, but it's going to be a substitution here for Bayern Munich, of course, with Wanner coming off for Serge Gnabry. He's probably the best substitution here for Bayern Munich so far. Can he impact? Can he make an impact for Bayern Munich? We just don't know. It's Nicolo Barella. Barella to Pavard. Pavard to Mkhitaryan. And Inter's next game is against Monaco, so what can they do in their next game? We're just going to see and find out. But right now they're leading against Bayern Munich. Can they find a bit of some hope to hold this lead? And looks like they are, with a wonderful pass and a wonderful finish by the Frenchman Marcus Thuram. It's been the two deadliest strikers creating problems for Bayern Munich. What a pass and what a finish here from Marcus Thuram. Neuer could not save this one, sadly. He has been completely bamboozled. He's the captain, by the way. He thought he could save Bayern Munich there, but too bad, too sad here. But anyway, Inter has a 2-goal lead over Bayern Munich. Can this be something for Inter? Can they hold on this lead, or will Bayern try to have a comeback of their own? Now here's Konrad Laimer. Konrad Laimer to Kimmich. It's Kimmich. Kimmich to Goretzka. Back to Kimmich. Kimmich to Konrad Laimer. Bayern are still in the opposition zone, but they're not making advantage of it. They're not taking the advantage on Inter's defensive weaknesses, I would say. Here's Guerreiro. Goretzka. Back to Guerreiro. Still Guerreiro. Guerreiro to Luis Diaz. Goretzka to Kimmich. A bit of a passive play here from Bayern Munich. Can they think of something here? Kimmich to Kane. Goretzka. Goretzka to Kimmich. Kimmich to Gnabry. Back to Kimmich. What a play here, but didn't work out well because that was too much. That was probably the bad touches I would have ever seen. But looks like Bayern Munich's next game is against a red-hot form Eintracht Frankfurt. So Frankfurt, they have lost their players like Kolo Muani and Omar Marmoush. But don't get fooled because they still have Mario Götze, who used to play for Bayern Munich. And they do have a best talented team. And they did win the Europa League a few seasons back. So don't get fooled by the players there because Kevin Trapp is still there. So, yeah. Now here's Luis Diaz, Serge Gnabry. Bayern are on the counter-attack. But what can they do? Kimmich to Laimer. Konrad Laimer to Olise. Olise to Kimi. Still Olise. Olise to Kimi. It's Goretzka. Goretzka to Guerrero. Guerrero to Goretzka. It's Guerrero. Kimi. Bayern Munich are trying to find themselves back into the game, but the inter-defense is what's restricting them to come into their box. Now here's Harry Kane. Still Kane. Kane finds Diaz. Still Diaz. Still Luis Diaz. Manages to hold on the defenders there. Diaz to Goretzka. It's Kimmich. What can Bayern do? They're still not in the box. Diaz did pass it outside. They're a bit passive. And this is working for them. Mkhitaryan manages to make a tackle on one of the players there. And now Inter might actually go for a counter-attack. Here's Çalhanoğlu. Çalhanoğlu to Martinez. Çalhanoğlu. Çalhanoğlu to Martinez, but what a save from Neuer. And looks like it's going to be a substitution here for Inter as Di Marco comes off for Carlos Augusto. Corner kick here for Inter. What can they do? They're actually going to be going short. An anticipated cross, but just couldn't meet the striker there. But it's still with Inter. Here's Barella. Barella to Benjamin Pavard. Pavard to Çalhanoğlu. Then to Carlos Augusto. But what a tackle here from Laimer. But it's still with Inter. Mkhitaryan wins it back. Çalhanoğlu to Barella. Then to Dumfries. Then to Çalhanoğlu. Çalhanoğlu to Thuram. Thuram to Çalhanoğlu. Çalhanoğlu makes a wonderful pass to Carlos Augusto. Then to Mkhitaryan. Still Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan makes a wonderful pass to Thuram. A bit of a tiki-taka pass from here from Inter. It's Carlos Augusto. Finds Mkhitaryan. What a tackle here from Jonathan Tah or Upamecano. Either one of those defenders. But I'm pretty sure it's Upamecano who made probably a much-needed tackle. But Bayern Munich's offensive record has not been the best. But it's all been Inter so far in the second half. And Bayern have basically not created a single deadly chance towards Jan Sommer. Neuer makes an easy save. 1 minute left. I think Inter will be getting a convincing victory over Bayern Munich. Probably Bayern Munich's weakness here, I would say. But looks like 2 minutes of added time is already given in the 90th minute. Konrad Laimer. He finds Serge Gnabry, who's trying to cook, but he's just a bit scared to get past the Inter defense. Can there be one last attack? No, it won't be, as full-time whistle is blown with Inter getting the 3 points they needed with a 2-0 resounding victory over Bayern Munich. And it's all because of their deadly strikers. But not just the strikers, give some respect to the defenders as well, as they manages to restrict the Bayern players from getting into the box. But of course, this man, Marcus Thuram, scored the second goal and probably the winner against Inter, because Bayern Munich, they did try to come back, but they just couldn't get past the defenders there. So that was the difference. Full time here, it's Inter 2, FC Bayern 0. Well, what a game, man. What a game from Inter Milan, as they proved that they are the top dogs of this competition. They did dominate this in terms of paper and stats. They had quality players than Bayern Munich, despite Bayern Munich having Harry Kane on top and Manuel Neuer being in goal. And also Joshua Kimmich being the best centre midfielder, being the security of midfield. They still couldn't cope up with Inter's lethal attack, of course, of Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram. Since both of them have been on the score sheet, they've been torturing Manuel Neuer, so nothing much to separate here. But Bayern Munich, they had their rough start to the campaign, but I'm pretty sure that they will bounce back in the next match. But anyway, as for Inter, they have a perfect start, and I can see how things will be going good for them in the second match. But right now, we're going to be going to the actual game of the season, and it is going to be Manchester United taking on Real Madrid. And as you can see, United and Real Madrid have basically been the top dogs. Well, United used to be the top dogs of England, but of course, they fell off. And then Real Madrid, they're the Galacticos of football, so nothing much to say here. They do have Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Bellingham, Courtois, list goes on and on. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this. And yeah, let's just go to our final match of the day. Alright guys, we're here at our third and final match of the day fixture as we have Manchester United take on Real Madrid, which will take place at Old Trafford. Both these sides have been even in terms of stats, players, well, not exactly. Real Madrid have more talented players than Manchester United. They have Kylian Mbappe as a striker, Courtois is in goal, and of course they have Vinicius Jr. and of course the rising star Jude Bellingham. But Manchester United do have their fair shares of talented players. They have Bruno Fernandes. They also have Harry Maguire, who's at his redemption era. And of course now Manchester United have two new players of Cunha and Mbeumo. But can one of these sides make a difference? Because this game is treat to watch. Of course, Manchester United and Real Madrid at their prime, they had the likes of Beckham, Roberto Carlos, R9, Gary Neville, Wayne Rooney, Cristiano Ronaldo, you name it. Even they have Casillas and of course Peter Schmeichel in terms of goalkeeping point of view. But anyway, let's take a look at Manchester United starting 11. And they've actually gone with a much different formation. They usually go with a 5-2-3 formation, but this time they're going with a 4-2-3-1 with Onana in goal, Dalot, Yoro, Maguire, Shaw, Mainu, Casemiro, Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes, Dogu, and Matheus Cunha. Of course, Ruben Amorim as the manager, but he doesn't like that formation. But anyway, we move on to Real Madrid's starting lineup with, of course, Thibaut Courtois in goal with Trent Alexander-Arnold, Militao, Rudiger, Carreras, Tchouameni, Goulet, Valverde, Bellingham, Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe. Of course, Xabi Alonso as the manager. But yeah, this match is really a treat to watch. Who will win this match? Well, anyway, it looks like Manchester United will be the one to start, as they're the ones donning in orange and black. Looks like Mbeumo has it. He collects the ball. What can Manchester United do? They do nothing, but however, Rudiger concedes a corner, and this could be pivotal for the home fans in Manchester. And Ruben Amorim is, of course, standing there. He's trying to see what can be done. Bruno Fernandes is going to be the one to take the corner. That's a wonderful header, but Thibaut Courtois makes a save. He does know the Premier League pretty well, so he is not shy to not save this one. So yeah, looks like Kylian Mbappe finds Bellingham. Bellingham to Valverde. Valverde tries to swivel past the defenders there. Here's Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe finds Carreras, who's actually a Manchester United academy or a reject. Either one of those players. But still, Real Madrid are on the attack, but what a defensive play from Manchester United. This is very tricky. Very, very tricky, honestly. And now United are on the attack with Patrick Dogu, the Dane. He finds Bruno Fernandes, the Portuguese Magnifico. He actually crosses it. That's a wonderful header, but what a save from Courtois. Now Manchester United still have the possession. It's Mbeumo. Mbeumo tries to shoot from distance. And another shot, but a deflection from the Madrid defenders gets it away. Now here's Jude Bellingham. Bellingham finds Carreras. But yeah, Mbeumo is probably the player to watch for Manchester United, since he is probably doing decent well for Brentford. But now, can one of these teams break the deadlock? Here's Mbeumo. Brian Mbeumo has it. Still Mbeumo. Mbeumo to Dogu. But what a tackle from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Here's Valverde. Valverde to Bellingham. But somehow Manchester United get the ball away from them. They still lose it. But 18 minutes gone with still one of these teams yet to break the deadlock. Valverde has it. It's Ede Militao. Militao to Bellingham. Bellingham to Trent. Trent to Bellingham. Both linking up with this slow build-up plays. It's Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni to Carreras. This is going to be very tricky here. Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's Kylian Mbappe in goal in poacher here. Real Madrid looking to torment the defenders there. He passes it to Carreras, then to Mbappe. Finds Vinicius. Still Vinicius. Vinicius to Bellingham. But Bellingham somehow makes an error and gives the ball away. That's probably the rarest thing that Bellingham has ever done in his career. But anyway, Manchester United have the ball. Here's Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo to Dogu. Dogu to Fernandes. Here's Fernandes. Fernandes to Mbeumo. Still Mbeumo. Mbeumo. Mbeumo finds Cunha. Cunha's 3 shoots and scores the goal for Manchester United. Matheus Cunha, the Brazilian wizard, sips a cup of tea as to celebrate for Manchester United as he has given the most important lead. We got to take a look at that finish from Cunha. The fans are erupting because that might have been the most pivotal goal that Cunha has ever scored, and that too to lead against the best and the galactic teams of football, Real Madrid. Cunha scores the opening goal of this match as he gives Manchester United the lead. But what can Real Madrid do? They do have Kylian Mbappe, so he really needs to step it up. Valverde somehow gets the ball. It's still Valverde. Valverde tries to pass it, but I think that was a wonderful defense here from United. I don't know who defended pretty well. But anyway, now here's Cunha. He actually gets the ball from Carreras. Carreras does make a tackle, and that to a legitimate one. No foul given. Here's Bellingham. Bellingham finds Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni with a wonderful cross to Vinicius. Still Vinicius Jr. Vinny to Bellingham. Bellingham to Mbappe. Mbappe to Valverde. Valverde to Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he almost had the opportunity to score the equalizing goal. Ruben Amorim has a smile on his face because that was probably Trent's chance to equalize the game for Real Madrid, but he botched his line. And Manchester United have already started their goal kick, but of course. However, it is actually a free kick for Manchester United because that was a bad one on Mbeumo, and that to Carreras gets a yellow card for a harsh tackle on Bryan Mbeumo. You gotta take a look at that awful tackle here from Carreras. He shouldn't be conceding this type of tackle. Make very bad tackles like these. And now Manchester United have the opportunity to double their lead with this free kick. He actually goes long. And that's a wonderful volley, and what a goal! But unfortunately it's offside. That could have been probably Puskás' worthy goal. But he's offside. And Real Madrid get this one. They were actually lucky because they could have probably conceded the best goals. And that too probably from Manchester United. They would have conceded the worst goals ever. And that too to come from a volley. But anyway, Real Madrid get this one away. They're actually trying to be playing passive. They don't want to give the ball away. Now here's Militao. Militao to Trent. Trent to Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni here, they're doing a bit of build-up plays here. Here's Arda Güler. The Turkish Messi finds Bellingham. Bellingham to Carreras. Here's Bellingham. Bellingham to Vinny. Vinny to Rudiger. Back to Vinny. Vinny to Bellingham. Bellingham to Rudiger. Rudiger to Tchouaméni. Güler. They're on the attack. What can they do? Here's Vinny. Vinny. Carreras, Bellingham. They're on the attack. They're in the wing. Vinny's in the wing. Bellingham. Vinny to Carreras. Still Carreras. Carreras makes a wonderful pass. What a chance. And what a goal from the number 7. Vinicius Jr. scores the most important equalizing goal for Real Madrid. Gotta take a look at this build-up play here. It was actually a wonderful pass from Fede Valverde and a wonderful finish from Vinicius Jr. Sent Onana completely like a fool there. He tried to save, but what a goal here from Vinicius, and Ruben Amorim is frustrated after conceding such a cheapish goal like this. But Vinicius Jr. most importantly has the equalizing goal, and that might have settled the scoreline for this game. And that too to score it at the stroke of half-time as the whistle blows, with both these sides still yet to break the deadlock. This happened in the Dortmund-Barcelona game. Could this repeat? Looks like Vinicius Jr. did somehow score the equalizing goal. That too, right place at the right time. They were trailing. They were second place, but somehow scored the equalizing goal. It's half-time. Man United 1, Real Madrid 1. Alright guys, looks like the second half has already commenced with Real Madrid actually kicking off, and they're not going to punt it this time like what the other teams tried to do. But looks like Militao finds Valverde. Valverde to Rudiger. Rudiger crosses it to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent to Militao. Militao to Trent. Real Madrid are already on their defensive line. Can they stride forward? They've somehow managed to score the equalizing goal just at the nick of time. But can they have this momentum? Here's Trent. Tchouaméni with it. He crosses it. But Manchester United get the ball away. And that to their next game is against another La Liga team, but this time against Barcelona. But right now they have to worry about the defense, but somehow the defense managed to get back in time instead of sleeping. United cross. Or boot it away. Here's Arda Güler to Trent. Here's Trent with it. Trent crosses it. What a chance for Kylian Mbappe. Is it? Or is it Bellingham? Either one of those players had the chance to score. Or is the captain actually. But looks like it's going to be substitution here for Manchester United. It's Lenny Yoro coming off for Nuzair Mazraoui. He's going to be probably playing a centre-back rather than right-back. A strange change from Amorim there. But looks like Mazraoui does have some slight hope. Can he make some change and difference in the defensive point of view? But right now they're attacking. It's Patrick Dogu with it. Still Dogu. Still Patrick Dogu. Dogu finds Fernandes, but a block from the Real Madrid defense relieves the pressure. And now here's Jude Bellingham. We have reached the 1 hour mark. Still 1-1 is a difference. But it's either Thibaut Courtois or the Real Madrid defense doing pretty well to nullify the attackers of Manchester United. Now here's Arda Güler. Real Madrid's next game is against AC Milan. So they're up against probably the second best team in Europe. AC Milan actually. So yeah. This is actually pretty good. The top 2 teams of Europe are going up against each other. So this could be another game of the season here for Real Madrid. Right now, Kylian Mbappe has it. He shoots and he sends the defender the wrong way and scores what is a very important goal for the Galacticos. Xabi Alonso's ecstatic. And why wouldn't he be? Because that might have given Real Madrid an important lead. Mbappe sent Mazraoui the wrong way and somehow scored it. And Xabi Alonso, he's happy about this because Kylian Mbappe might have saved Real Madrid there. But looks like it's going to be substitution here for Manchester United. It's Dogu coming off for Alejandro Garnacho. Looks like Manchester United will be starting off. They really need to come back here because they did score thanks to Matheus Cunha, but Vini equalized it, and then Kylian Mbappe saved Real Madrid there by scoring an important goal, sending Mazraoui into outer space and scored the pivotal goal for Real Madrid. But right now, what can they do now? Can they extend the lead? That's what Real Madrid are doing, and that's what Real Madrid have done for the past few days. Because Kylian Mbappe has not only scored one, but twice. Twice. He has given Real Madrid a buffer. What was the defense doing? Kylian Mbappe not have scored once, but twice. And that has been probably Man United's worst decision to send Mazraoui in, because he's made Mazraoui a fool, and Mbappe might have actually given Real Madrid a 2-goal lead. The French superstar gives Real Madrid 2-goal lead over Manchester United. But can Manchester United do the inevitable? Now here's Matheus Cunha. He finds Bruno Fernandes. Bruno to Garnacho. But what a tackle here. It's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Here's Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe to Goulet. Goulet to Valverde. Valverde to Kylian Mbappe with a through ball pass. Still Mbappe. Still Mbappe. Mbappe to Goulet. Still Arda Goulet, but what a tackle here from Mainu. It's Bruno Fernandes. Still Bruno. The Magnifico finds Garnacho. Garnacho to Cunha. Still Matheus Cunha, but what a tackle, man. Real Madrid, they managed to find themselves back into the game, and then they're doing so well defensively. Now here's Goulet. Lot of space here for Mbappe and Trent. But now here's Goulet. It's Trent with it. Trent to Bellingham. Bellingham to Trent again. Trent to Carreras. Carreras to Bellingham. Bellingham makes a wonderful pass, but what a interception clearance here from United. Now here's Mazraoui. But Mazraoui makes another mistake here. And this could be game, set and match here. Real Madrid, they know what it is supposed to be done. Mazraoui is having a disaster class here, as he has given Vinicius a brace. Like, what was that from Mazraoui? And then Vinicius somehow gets the ball from a Madrid player and then just curls this one. Onana again had a disaster class. But right now, Real Madrid are cruising. They are cruising. Now here's Garnacho. Garnacho crosses it, but it's given away. Here's Bellingham. Bellingham finds Vinicius. Still Vinicius. Vinicius to Bellingham. Bellingham to Carreras. Carreras to Goulet. Right now, we're already approached the 90th minute. Despite that opening goal from Matheus Cunha, Manchester United have done awful. And it was who else but Mazraoui to be the one to blame. But Manchester United may get a consolation goal, but that's not the case. Real Madrid easily get this one away. They easily get this one away. As full time has already been approaching. Whistle blows as Real Madrid have a perfect start to the campaign, beating Manchester United 4-1 at Old Trafford, thanks to a masterclass performance from Mbappe and Vinicius Jr., despite Matheus Cunha scoring the goal beforehand. But yeah, Vinicius Jr. is of course the man of the match. We'll see who's the man of the match, but we'll see. I think Vinicius Jr. is the man of the match. He scored a brace, but so did Kylian Mbappe too. But right now, it's Manchester United 1, Real Madrid 4. What a game though by these two sides. And it was actually a comfortable win for Real Madrid. Well, it didn't actually start like that. Manchester United scored the opening goal thanks to Matheus Cunha. But then Vinicius Jr. scored the equalizing goal at the stroke of halftime. And then the second half basically settled the difference. Second half was the difference of the game, as Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. completely dominated the United defense. And Mazraoui had a disaster class. Mbappe literally sent Mazraoui to Venus and scored that goal. And then Mazraoui gave the ball away. Probably gave Vinicius or either Mbappe to score a brace. And that's the reason why Manchester United, they will be going empty-handed with no 3 points. Real Madrid are going to be the one to take the 3 points as they prove that they are the Galacticos of this Europe, of this competition. Basically of Europe and this competition. So yeah. But now let's just take a look at all the other goals featured in the rest of the matches and see how things are panning out for them. So let's start with Juventus and Monaco. Monaco stunned the home crowd in Turin by striking first in the opening match. The decisive moment came from a spell of patient build-up in the opposition half, as Beirut played into the ball into Zakaria, who swiveled past Gatti before threading a perfectly weighted through pass to Paul Pogba. The former Juventus midfielder made no mistake, firing home a dagger against his old club. That goal proved to be the difference over the full 90 minutes. Monaco showed resilience and composure to hold off the best team in Italy, with Pogba at the heart of it all. He delivered a standout performance, deadly in the box and always in the right place at the right time. His impact ensured Monaco walked away from Turin with all 3 points and, most importantly, a perfect start to their campaign. Aston Villa comfortably swept past FC Nantes with a commanding display built on sharp passing and intelligent movement. Morgan Rogers drifted a wide before laying the ball back to John McGinn. The Villa captain showed great composure, holding on to possession before threading a perfectly timed through ball to the Belgian midfielder Uri Tielemans, who finished with ease to give the Villains the lead. Hey guys, I would like to make a huge apology, as unfortunately the second goal was not shown because for some reason it was not able to record in time. However, I can tell you who scored the goal. It was actually by the Belgian midfielder again. He scored a brace, Uri Tielemans, who received the ball from Ollie Watkins, and of course, Tielemans actually curled that one in, which gave Aston Villa a 2-goal lead over FC Nantes. And yeah, that was actually the second goal that Aston Villa have scored in the first half. And now that I've already told you who scored the goal, let's continue on with the goal highlights. Villa's dominance continued and their third goal was a joy to watch. Ollie Watkins calmly set up McGinn, who was in sensational form. Once again, McGinn split the defense with a precise through pass, this time finding the ice-cold Morgan Rogers, who tucked the ball into the top left corner to make it 3-0. FC Nantes did manage a consolation goal through a swift counter-attack and excellent teamwork. Mustafa Mohamed played the ball to Matthijs Albin, who returned it with a clever through pass. Mohamed then powered past Tielemans and Pau Torres before finishing confidently to briefly give the French side hope. In the end, it was a day to remember for the home fans, who left Villa Park with smiles on their faces. Aston Villa sealed a resounding 3-1 victory over FC Nantes, inspired by a standout performance from Uri Tielemans, who might soon to be the next KDB, we don't know, but he is the showman of the pitch, who scored twice and ensured Villa claimed all 3 points. PSG delivered a dominant performance against Spanish dark horses Valencia in front of an electric crowd in Paris. Fabian Ruiz slid a pass to Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, who returned it with first time to Fabian before he threaded a perfect ball to the Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembele. The winger made no mistake, beating Dimitrivski with a cool finish to give PSG the lead. The second goal followed from a devastating counter-attack. João Neves released Kvaratskhelia, who delicately chipped the ball into the path of Desiree Doué. The youngster showed superb control before volleying home to double PSG's advantage. Valencia responded early in the second half and briefly reignited the contest. Andre Almeida picked out Hugo Duro, the Spanish side's cult hero, who shrugged off Marquinhos despite the defender's attempt to slow him down and curled a brilliant finish past Donnarumma to give the Bats some hope. But that hope was short-lived as PSG quickly restored their 2-goal cushion through more magic from Kvaratskhelia, who slipped Dembele in once again. The Frenchman stayed composed to complete his brace, much to the delight of the home fans. From a set piece, PSG struck again. A short routine involving Dembele sparked danger as Nuno Mendes burst forward, dribbled past the Valencia captain and combined with Kvaratskhelia before receiving the return pass from Doué. Mendes finished emphatically to make it 4-1. Things went from bad to worse for Valencia when they conceded a penalty following an unfortunate handball by Cesar Tarrega. The 19-year-old Warren Zaïre-Emery stepped up and calmly sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, which sealed PSG's fifth goal on a ruthless day at Parc des Princes. The final whistle confirmed a comprehensive 5-1 victory for PSG. It was a triumph built on teamwork and fluid attacking football, thanks to the Frenchman and the Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembele stealing the spotlight with 2 goals in a performance that lit up the Parc des Princes. It has been a good day for the Paris supporters, but as for Valencia, it was a humbling evening and a return to the drawing board. Eintracht Frankfurt delivered a dominant performance against Norwich City at Deutsche Bank Park. The hosts wasted no time taking the lead as a perfectly weighted through ball pass from Jonathan Burkardt split the Norwich defense, allowing Mario Götze to race through and calmly slot the ball past the goalkeeper to give Frankfurt an early advantage. Things quickly went from bad to worse for the visitors. Norwich conceded a penalty after a handball by Harry Darling. As you can see, it would be confirmed on replay as it was a clear handball conceded by the Norwich defender. Burkardt, already influential in the build-up, stepped up and confidently converted from the spot to double Frankfurt's lead and put them firmly control at 2-0. Norwich did manage to claw their way back into the contest as a brilliant pass from Matthijs Quisgaarden to Matej Juricek, who showed great composure despite a slight stutter, to finish from a tight angle, pulling one back for the Canaries and briefly reigniting hope. However, Frankfurt refused to let their grip slip. A sublime forward pass from Oscar Højlund once again found Burkardt, who made no mistake in front of goal, completing his brace and restoring Frankfurt's 2-goal cushion. The German side put the result beyond doubt with a 4th goal. This time Burkardt turned provider, threading a superb pass through to Højlund, who blasted the ball in off the crossbar, sending the home crowd into celebration. At full time, Eintracht Frankfurt sealed a statement victory, showcasing their ability to compete with Europe's elite. Jonathan Burkardt was the standout performer, directly involved in all 4 goals for the German side, with 2 goals and 2 assists, and he celebrated the emphatic win with the fans as Frankfurt claimed all 3 points in style, beating the Canaries 4-1. Blackburn Rovers made a perfect start to their campaign at Ewood Park. The breakthrough came when Todd Cantwell rose well to head the ball into the path of Yuki Ohashi, who calmly curled his effort into the net to give the home side the lead. The second half began with a bang for the Rovers. Cantwell was again at the heart of the move, latching onto a perfectly weighted through ball before squaring it to Ohashi, who finished confidently to complete his brace. With the home fans sensing victory, Blackburn looked set to comfortably see out the game. However, Auger found a late lifeline in the dying moments. A precise pass from Elisha Owusu picked out the Malian footballer Lassine Sinayoko, who buried his chance to give the French side some renewed hope. Despite the late scare, it proved too little, too late, as the final whistle confirmed a deserved win for Blackburn Rovers, sparked by a man-of-the-match performance from the Japanese wizard Yuki Ohashi. His effortless performance and his 2 goals gives a dream-perfect start for Rovers, as the fans depart Ewood Park with smiles on their faces, while Auger are left heading back to the drawing board in France. The clash between Parma and Werder Bremen was absolute cinema. Though it didn't start well for the River Islanders, Bremen conceded an early penalty after Nicholas Stark was caught in a handball incident. Dennis Mann stepped up, but in a rare moment of wastefulness, the Romanian blasted his effort wide and his frustration was written all over his face. Parma's luck didn't improve much later on, as they too gave away a penalty, this time Giovanni Leoni being the culprit, with the ball accidentally striking the young centre-back's hand as he attempted to contest possession. However, relief swept through the home crowd when Keke Top mirrored Mann's mistake, sending his penalty wide and keeping the score level at 0-0. But Parma's joy was short-lived, as Werder Bremen finally found the breakthrough just before half-time with a slick piece of tiki-taka football. Romano Schmidt threaded a clever pass into the box, and Keke Top made amends for his earlier miss by calmly slotting the ball past the keeper, giving the visitors the lead right on the stroke of half-time. Parma sadly couldn't find an equalizer in the second half, and after 90 minutes of action being concluded, Werder Bremen held firm to edge a 1-0 nail-biting thriller in Parma. As Keke Top, despite missing his penalty in the first half, he proved to be the difference maker, securing a crucial 3 points with a well-placed finish by scoring the only and crucial goal in Parma to give Werder Bremen an almighty win over Parma 1-0. AC Milan opened their campaign in a convincing fashion with a 2-0 victory over Deportivo La Coruna. Christian Pulisic burst forward on the wing before delivering a precise pass into the path of the young Swiss forward Noah Okafor, who calmly tucked the ball away to give Milan the lead. The second half proved even more comfortable for the Italian giants. Rafa Leo initiated another slick passing sequence, squaring the ball to Jimenez, who selflessly laid it off for Okafor. Brimming with confidence, Okafor made no mistake, firing home his second of the night to complete a well-deserved brace and effectively seal the contest. Milan never looked like surrendering their lead, and it showed after the final whistle blew. Rossoneri joined their city rivals with the deserved 3 points to start their campaign. Much of the credit belonged to Noah Okafor, whose clinical double showcased his growing self-belief. And I know it's early days, but it is hinted at a ceiling that could place him among the game's elite alongside Mbappe and Yamal. In the end, it was a professional and dominant performance from AC Milan, who comfortably solved Deportivo La Coruna to open their campaign with a 2-0 victory. At the top, PSG setting the pace isn't a huge surprise, but seeing Frankfurt and Real Madrid right behind them with strong goal differences suggests we could be in for an attacking heavy season. The big early mover has to be Blackburn Rovers, as that win over Auxerre pushes them up to 7th alongside AS Monaco, and Werder Bremen gives them real momentum. As they say, early confidence can snowball quickly. At the bottom, though it's surprising to see Valencia, Norwich City and Manchester United occupying the last 3 spots. Especially United, even if it's only match day 1, pressure builds fast at clubs of that size. RC Deportivo and Bayern Munich will feel they've left points on the table, but as you said, it's very early days. If this is the tone for match day 1, we're in for a season full of swings. Who do you think is genuinely title material and who's just enjoying a temporary boost? Let me know in the comments. So there you have it. We've already finished our first match week of this competition, and second match week will be coming up. It will be coming up soon. I'm not sure when it will come, but we'll see how it will be going, because it's very difficult to actually make this project, but I'm trying to make it exciting for you guys. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. This is Brisbane05Blaster here, signing off.